Emotional distance is often misunderstood. Many people believe attraction grows through constant closeness, constant reassurance, and constant availability. They assume that if they give more attention, more explanations, and more emotional presence, attraction will naturally increase. But psychology shows the opposite happens far more often. Attraction does not grow through emotional saturation. It grows through emotional contrast. Emotional distance creates attraction not because people enjoy being ignored, but because distance activates the parts of the mind responsible for desire, curiosity, and anticipation. Attraction is not a feeling of comfort. It is a feeling of pull. And pull requires space. When emotional distance appears, the brain fills the gap. Humans are not disturbed by what they understand. They are disturbed by what they cannot fully predict. Distance introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty is the engine of attraction. This does not mean emotional distance is about being cold or unavailable. It is about not collapsing emotionally into another person. It is about maintaining internal structure. Attraction weakens when emotional access becomes unlimited. When someone knows they can reach you at any moment, receive reassurance instantly, and predict your reactions perfectly, emotional tension disappears. And without tension, attraction fades. Emotional distance preserves tension. Another reason emotional distance creates attraction is because it signals autonomy. Autonomy is deeply attractive. It communicates that your emotional state is not dependent on another person's validation. And independence is interpreted by the subconscious as strength. Strength attracts. Need repels. When someone senses that you are emotionally self-contained, they feel drawn toward you. Not because you are withholding, but because you are grounded. Grounded people feel safe to desire. Another psychological mechanism at play is scarcity. Not artificial scarcity, but genuine emotional availability that is selective. When emotional energy is not given freely to everyone, it gains value. Value creates attraction. Emotional distance also forces projection. When people don't have constant emotional input, they project their own desires, fears, and fantasies onto the other person. Projection deepens emotional engagement far more than explanation ever could. This is why over-explaining kills attraction. Explanation removes mystery. Mystery sustains interest. Another important reason emotional distance works is that it prevents emotional dependency. Dependency shifts attraction into obligation. When someone feels responsible for your emotional state, desire collapses under pressure. Emotional distance removes that pressure. It's important to understand that emotional distance is not withdrawal. Withdrawal is avoidance. Emotional distance is presence without neediness. It is being emotionally available without being emotionally attached to outcomes. This balance is rare, and rarity is attractive. There is also a neurological explanation. Attraction is linked to dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for anticipation and reward. Dopamine spikes not when rewards are guaranteed, but when they are possible yet uncertain. Emotional distance preserves uncertainty. When emotional closeness becomes constant, dopamine drops. Comfort replaces desire. Emotional distance reintroduces anticipation. Another reason emotional distance creates attraction is that it allows polarity to exist. Polarity requires difference. When two people merge emotionally too quickly, polarity collapses. Emotional distance preserves individuality. Individuality fuels attraction. This is why people often lose attraction when someone becomes overly accommodating, overly agreeable, or overly focused on maintaining harmony. Harmony without polarity feels flat. Emotional distance also protects self-respect. Self-respect is deeply attractive because it signals internal boundaries. Boundaries define value. Without boundaries, attraction erodes. Another subtle reason emotional distance creates attraction is because it reduces emotional noise. Constant communication, constant reassurance, and constant emotional processing create noise. Noise numbs sensitivity. Distance restores sensitivity. When emotional interaction becomes less frequent but more intentional, each interaction carries more weight. And weight creates meaning. It's also important to recognize that emotional distance reveals truth. When distance increases, people reveal their real level of interest. Those who are genuinely interested move closer. Those who relied on constant availability fade away. Distance clarifies dynamics. One of the biggest mistakes people make is confusing emotional distance with punishment. When distance is used to provoke reaction, it becomes manipulation. Manipulation creates short-term reactions, not long-term attraction. True emotional distance is calm, not reactive. Another reason emotional distance works is that it shifts focus inward. When you stop monitoring someone else's reactions, you become more present in your own life. That presence changes how others perceive you. People are drawn to those who are engaged with life, not those who wait to be chosen. Emotional distance also prevents overinvestment. Overinvestment creates imbalance. Balance sustains attraction. Attraction thrives in equilibrium. There is also a psychological safety component. People feel safer desiring someone who does not emotionally collapse under uncertainty. Emotional stability invites attraction because it signals resilience. Resilience is attractive. Another uncomfortable truth is that emotional distance often increases attraction because it removes pressure. Pressure suffocates desire. Distance allows desire to breathe. When someone feels free emotionally, attraction grows naturally. Emotional distance is also a form of self-trust. You trust yourself to be okay regardless of outcome. That confidence is felt, not spoken. And what is felt is more powerful than what is said. It's important to emphasize that emotional distance does not mean emotional unavailability. It means emotional regulation. You are present, but not consumed. That distinction makes all the difference. Many people fear emotional distance because they associate it with loss. But often, closeness built without distance is not connection. It is fusion. Fusion kills attraction. Connection requires space. The paradox is this: the more you allow emotional distance, the more authentic closeness becomes possible. Because closeness becomes chosen, not demanded. Chosen closeness is attractive. Demanded closeness is not. In the end, emotional distance creates attraction because it preserves selfhood. And attraction cannot exist without selfhood. When you stop trying to close every emotional gap, you allow desire to do what it naturally does: move. And movement is the essence of attraction.